Dat. What's going on, everybody? This is Tim Hurd, and you are listening to Tall Talk, episode 33. Our 30s are just flying by right now. Well, I guess that's about to happen for me because I'm getting closer. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good, except for I just got assigned like 4 assignments that are due in one day, and then I got 2 more due the other day, and then I got a midterm, and then I got another test, and yeah, next week's going to be pretty busy. Oh, well, maybe there's something out there that's becoming legal that will just help me out a little. I'm just kidding. Don't do drugs, but we'll bring that up later in the podcast. What do we need to do? What do we need to do right now? That's right. We need to crack open a beer or 2, 3. What do we got this week? Well, straight from Whistler, British Columbia, the Whistler Brewing Company. That's right. And I have a couple beers. Well, I picked up a 12-pack of like mix and matches of their beers, and their 4 famous ones they have. The first one I'm going to crack open is their Grapefruit Ale, 5% alcohol, and it's a bottle. They're all bottles this time. That's pretty cool. A little different than usual. This refreshing ale has a twist. We begin with a malty blonde, then add grapefruit zest, a little, coriander, and 4 types of hops to finish it off. Product of Canada. Damn right. In BC, where everyone skis and has good times. Anyways, a little bio of them. Whistler Brewing is not the next big thing. Oh, well, thanks for being honest. Far from it. We're trailblazing, man. Modern day pioneers of BC craft brewing. We're malt-forward thinkers. We don't rely on computers to tell us how to brew beer. Instead, we rely on experience and our own 2 hands. Okay. This is not another hit you over the head with hops flavor of the week. This is authentic craft beer built on tradition of progression. And it's been that way for a long time. First established in 1989, the Whistler Brewing Company is an originator in the BC craft brewing movement. And today, while many craft breweries have come and gone, we are still proudly 100% BC owned and 100% BC brewed. Oh! They're probably pissed off that a guy from Ontario is tasting their delicious beer. Well, I just know I tried their lager earlier. Not bad. They have our 4 core values. Number 1, tradition. With roots in traditional English style malts, forward flavors, we honor long-established brewing techniques, choosing to brew manually instead of relying on technology to do the job. Number 2, hard work. You can't make it this far without rolling up your sleeves and putting in the work. Whistler Brewing's unrelenting determination has led to a lot of success. Well, that was a train wreck. And then number 3, reliability. 4, progression. Okay. Authentic handcraft, artisan beers. That is the Whistler beer experience. More flavor, more character, more to experience. All right, what else do they got on here? You can buy stuff. They have a shop thing on their website, so check them out. Oh, they got lovely coasters. Beautiful t-shirts, I swear. This t-shirts I'm looking at right now. Mwah! Lovely. I love them. Oh, they got little flags and everything. So cute. A bucket for $7. I don't know if that's true. Well, think about that. Isn't that right, McLovin? The brewery. What do they got at the brewery? Well, I hope they got beer. Visit the brewery. Oh, come visit our brewery in Function Junction to see our authentic craft beers in the making. Join one of our fully guided tours and enjoy a tasting of award-winning ales and lagers in the tap house. We also offer keg and packaged beer sales. It's the keg that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started drinking it. I don't know what I'm talking about. That happened a long time ago, but it was a good night. Oh, shit. Along with our signature line of wearables and beer paraphernalia. If you're in the BC area, Sheldon Reed. Anyways, Sunday to Wednesday, baby, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Thursday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Live music every Friday. There you go, baby. Please call ahead to confirm. Oh, call ahead. No, don't pull an Eddie's. Oh, call ahead to confirm. Oh, jeez. Seasonal beers currently available on tap in growler fill. Grapefruit ale. Oh, shit. It's a fucking seasonal. Hazy Trail Pale Ale. Pineapple Express, bro. Wheat ale. Black Tusk Chocolate Milk Ale. God, they got all kinds of weird things. Rotating pilot brew seasons. Very limited. 1 to 2 kegs per beer and only available at the tap room. Oh, that's a bit aggressive. Kitchen menu. Of course they got nachos. The Crazy Canuck Pizza. God, I hate the Vancouver Canucks. That's an opinion right there. Take that, BC. Pulled pork pizza. Wouldn't mind if I do. Garden Gobbler veggie pizza. That's a no for me, dog. German style warm pretzel. Hell yeah. Some tacos, spinach dip, potato skins. Oh, they got all the kinds of stuff. All right, so the tour times are 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 2:30 and 4 p.m. Friday through Sunday. $16 per person, includes a tour of our craft brewing facility and tasting flight. Oh, that's not bad. Call them at 604-962-8889 or email us for more information or to make a reservation. Alternatively, you can book a tour online. Oh, they got keg prices. 50 liter, $200 plus $30 deposit, taxes included. 30 liter, $160 plus another $30 deposit. Dispensing units, hand pumps, $15 plus $100. What? Doesn't make any sense. Picnic cooler and cold plate. What's on the cold plate? Like cold cuts? That'd be nice. Here you go. Here's your cold cuts. I like cold cuts. Not really a big fan of cold cut subs though. I don't know. Subway's bad now. $50 plus a $250 deposit. This doesn't make any sense. Anyways, yeah, special event bookings, you can do that. You can follow them on the old Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can email them, like I said. Multiple beers on progress. They got all kinds of bottles, and they got cans. And what other events do they have going on their old bad boy? Like I said, live music. Around town in Whistler, there's the Beacon. Oh, fuck! The Beacon Pub. McLovin and I were going to figure something out for that for PEI, but I guess not. Whistler beer specials and live music at Crystal's Lounge. Elevated comedy nights at the Crystal Lounge. Okay, this is just karaoke black pubs. Anyways, if you're in the Whistler area, go check these people out, and yeah, that's about it. So, without further ado, I'm going to grab a beer. Where is it? The Grapefruit Ale. First one on the agenda. First one on the Kayne. Got a bottle opener. I think this might be the first time I've... No. McLovin and I had some Pabst Blue Ribbon. We were like, Heineken! Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon! Woo! Oh, I'm a little excited today. Excited Tim is here. I guess it's Friday night. I'm supposed to be like, all the crazy shit I did last night. Those will be the best memories. Wow. Okay, this is getting real weird. Anyways, just open the beer and start drinking it. Fuck. All right, here I go. Kobe! And I got my lovely glass here, and this is the Grapefruit Ale, 5% alcohol, like I said. We thirsty. One of the probably the greatest movie line of all time. I'll say it every week if I have to, just so people go out and watch Too Fast, Too Furious. All right, here we go. In the glass. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Cheers, folks. You know what I'm going to cheers to? West Coast is the best coast. No, I'm not going to cheers to that. I'm going to cheers to Ludacris getting the royal flush in Too Fast, Too Furious. If it wasn't for that scene, that movie would not make any sense. So here's to you, Ludacris, and getting that royal flush. And just being a savage when you did it. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Royal Flush, baby. Cheers, Luda. Oh, 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 that's different. Oh, ooh. Not bad. Not bad at all. Mm. Fuck, this might be like a triple beer podcast. That's pretty damn good. Anyways, yeah, check out Whistler Brewing, baby. And yeah, so moving on after I don't know what the hell just happened there. Oh, what a week it's been. What a week. I'll tell you. What has been going on in my life? Well, actually today was pretty fun. So I was trying to find something to drink on the podcast, and I was trying to do already has the burps. I was trying to find something that was local, and I'm just driving down Dundas Street. That's a major artery in the transportation area of London. All the roads, it's Dundas, it's crazy. It's so cool. Like, Dundas is an amazing street. It's not really that cool, but anyways, I live right off of it, and yeah, if you want to be creepy, just go down Dundas Street. You might see a tall person. Anyways, I'm driving down Dundas Street, and I see this place that says we have cold brew. I was like, oh shit, okay, I'll go in there. I walk in, and they don't have any beer, and it's an organic kombucha shop. And I was like, what in the fuck is this shit? And I've had kombucha before. It's not bad, but I didn't realize how many not financial benefits, health benefits it has. It's really good for your gut, and I am having really bad problems with heartburn. I guess because I'm getting older and older. I tried the warm milk. Warm milk is gross. I don't know, why was that a thing? Like, why did anyone say, you know what you need? Warm milk. That will help you. That will cure everything. No, it's gross. Even milky water, get out of town. Anyways, yeah. And so it's pretty damn good. I walk in and I had a couple flavors because I was doing a testing. I talked to the guy working there for like 15, 20 minutes, and we had a great conversation. And so it helps like gut health. And so I was like talking about my heartburn and shit and how I'm sick of using Tums. And probiotic pills are so goddamn expensive, and they actually help a lot with my heartburn. It's just like probiotics can be like $50 to $60. And I'm like, I am a student. I'm slowly but surely becoming even more poor every day I wake up. Oh, sad. Maybe you shouldn't buy beer from Whistler, you asshole. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is it's just like I got a lot of expenses and stuff. Well, who doesn't? Anyways, stop bitching, Tim. Fuck, figure it out. It was your decision, and you know what? It's been a great decision. Even though money's a little tight right now, what can you do? Anyways, it has a little. I got a little pamphlet from the guy, and the place is called Booch. Booch, established 2014. Kombucha is a fermented tea rich in probiotics and antioxidants. It's a tasty, healing tonic that refreshes and energizes, while it strengthens and repopulates beneficial gut bacteria to boost the immune system and promote overall gut health. It's nutritious, it's hydrating, and it's delicious. So I got a bottle of it, and the guy told me if I just had one shot of it every morning, it would help with my heartburn every day. And so I'm gonna give it a shot, man. Like, because I'm tired, like I said, and he said it's a lot better. I don't know if this was like an advertisement for him or just like him promoting his company. Well, like the company he works for. But he says he uses it every day, and it says he never gets heartburn, and he used to get heartburn too. So thank you for helping me out there. And yeah, check him out. You can check him out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And yeah, I can't wait. I told Emma about that. I got her some too. And the one we got was this, I don't know, what was it? It was little pineapple jalapeno flavor. And it was like, everyone like, what the hell is wrong with you? I tell you, man, it was a different taste, but I really enjoyed it. Because like when Emma and I were in Texas, we stopped at this moonshine place because they're very popular down in Texas, and we got jalapeno moonshine, and I tell you, that shit is good. It's good. It's like, it's not overly spicy. It's not like, oh my god, my mouth is on fire. It just has a little kick to it, and it's a lot different than like your raspberry vodka and like your blueberry yum yum vodka stuff and like spring mix and all that crazy stuff, baby. And yeah, so if you're in the London area, check them out. I'm gonna go again. Why not? It's my life. I'll do what I want. But yeah, that's what I did today. And this week was a big week. I had my first official newscast that was on the air. I gotta thank some of my friends that listened. And I mean, my first one I did it on Wednesday. And what was going on? Like my newscast started at 11 o'clock, and I chose that because, and we had to do 4 minutes of news, 1 minute of sports, and 30 seconds of weather. And that's the radio the school radio, that's their format. And so the stories I covered for that day was the day that Hurricane Michael was gonna make landfall. And I talked about Doug Ford a bit. What happened with Doug Ford that day? He did something, or he went somewhere. Oh, 100 days of the new PC government. That's right. I talked about that. I talked about a couple local stories. There was a story about Western doing a sleep study, and one of the second-year reporters went out and got some great content. And yeah, and honestly, man, after listening, like I actually started listening to AM radio in the morning, which is, a lot of people are like, what the hell? Like, what is that? That still exists? And there's some great quality AM radio news out there still, like, especially like with, this is what I want to do for a living. I mean, it's great to know that there's options out there. And just listening to their newscasts, and there's one called CFPL, Global News, and it's on a constant 24-hour news cycle, and so they're constantly telling the news, and they're always updating their stories. So I had a shift that was only 3 newscasts in a row on the top of every hour, and it was so fun working with the radio host and just figuring out your own newscasts and what is more important, what are you going to put in. And so like I like that like 11 o'clock, then noon, then 1, because you get the late morning and then you get the start of the afternoon. So news is changing so rapidly. And the best part was the sports. I talked about the scores at 11 o'clock. So I talked about the Leafs played, they beat the Stars that night 7-4. I'm pretty sure the Flames played, and they might have. I don't remember if they won. I should know this, but I mentioned the scores. The Red Sox beat the Yankees, and they moved on to the ALCS. I believe. I don't remember. I think it was the ALCS. And then I talked about local stuff that was going on because it is a Fanshawe radio station. I brought up first the Fanshawe men's soccer team won another game, and it was a 26-game winning streak, and that made them have the best record in the West Division, and they're very, very good contenders of even winning the whole OCAA championship. Fingers crossed. And the women's soccer team too. They're on a winning streak, and I brought that up as well. But then at noon, I was like, okay, like everyone. Oh, Emma's taking a sip of beer. How was your workout? Just give him a thumbs up.
So swole, bro.
So swole, bro. Grab a beer. There's all kinds of beers. There's more grapefruit ones if you want.
Is that grapefruit?
That's grapefruit. It's not bad, eh?
Really nice.
Yeah.
The honey?
I haven't tried it yet. I've only... Yeah, anyways. From the cheap seats, Emma Hackett. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. And, yeah, so I usually around noon, that's when you see, like, I don't know, analysts start talking about the games that have happened and what's going to happen the next night. And what are you doing?
There's none in the fridge.
and so yeah, and can you close the door? Hold on, I gotta close the door. Just give me a second. Sorry about that. Okay. So, like I said, usually around noon, people are starting to do analysis of the games that happen. Well, they do that in the morning as well, but they start talking about the games that are coming up. So I was at a bit of a crossroad. I'm like, do I still mention the scores of last night? Because usually everyone has an app for the score. Well, not everyone, but like huge sports fans do. Majority of people that watch sports know the scores by the time they get up. And they're continually going in like if they're in their car listening to the radio, they bring them up. And then at noon, it's like, okay, maybe I should start talking about what's going to happen tonight. And I still brought up the Leaf game because London has a huge Leaf following. There was no London Knights game, which is the OHL team. So I didn't bring that up. So I changed my stories for the news. I brought up for the sports. I brought up that there was plenty of games going on in the NHL tonight, and I listed the games, and then there was nothing going on in the MLB. But what I did was I brought up the story about how one of Western's running back just got athlete of the week because he rushed for 355 yards and scored 3 or 4 touchdowns against the Windsor Lancers. And the Western Mustangs in CIS football, they're insane. Like I've been, because they want us to focus more on local stuff. Like the Western Mustangs football team is extremely popular in this city, and they're pretty damn good. And they won the Vanier Cup last year, I believe. I'm pretty sure they did. And because it was in him, yeah, I think they did. And their team is killing it, man. And this guy, I watched some highlights of this. What the hell's his name? I forget his name. I'm just gonna look up his name real quick. Western Mustangs. Learning to fly. Oh yeah, I got the roster right here. Oh, they got a huge roster. Chris Merchant's the quarterback. He's crushing it this year. Cedric Joseph, 6 foot, 191 pounds, he's from Montreal, Quebec. He ran for 355 yards, and he was the U Sports Athlete of the Week. So I brought that up on my my newscast. And yeah, and then like at 1 o'clock, I found some other sports stories and brought that up. And same with the news, man. Like I kept on changing my story about Hurricane Michael because it was constantly getting closer and closer to landfall. And I would pick and choose what was going on. Like, there's another study done by the hurricane system of the United States, which is nothing. I'm just spitballing here. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. I had a great time doing it, and I can't wait to do it again. And check out this upcoming Saturday because we'll be doing the same thing. 10 to 1 is my shift. And, yeah, can't wait. I might be doing one early in the morning. I'll have to be there at like 5 a.m., but I don't know. I will see about that. Other thing that's going on is I have an assignment coming up on Monday. It doesn't nothing to do with news or anything, but I have to perform a monologue in front of my entire class. And I was struggling to find monologues. Like I didn't want to do like the speech from like Any Given Sunday. Like I don't know what to say really. The inches we need are everywhere. I didn't want to do that because it's like 9 minutes long. And our teacher's only looking for like 1 to 2 minutes. So I was just going down rabbit holes on YouTube trying to find decent monologues or decent speeches I mean, obviously there's the classic from The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin. I think that was one of his first voice movies that he ever did. And that's a good one. There's all kinds of monologues. I was really interested in doing the one from Wolf of Wall Street, not like the not that one. I wanted to do the one where he's like, pick up the phone and call. If you're tired of living on the streets, pick up the phone and call. And he says like fuck every other word, and he's like fucking losing his mind. I was like, okay, I'm definitely not doing that one because that is so intense. So I just went with one from Saving Private Ryan, not the one with Matt Damon laughing the whole time, and I'm pretty sure that was all improv. I did the one where like the situation, or I'm going to do the one with the situation where Tom Hanks lets everyone know where he's from. He's like, what's the pool up to? Hey, Mike, what's the pool up to? So I'm going to do that one. And it's around a minute long. And I watched it a couple times and I'm like, you know what? He shows a bit of emotion especially in the situation. If you obviously, I hope everyone's seen Saving Private Ryan. If you haven't, go out and watch it. And so, yeah, I'm going to go with that one. Like, I'm a school teacher. I teach English composition in a little town called Adley, Pennsylvania. And he just keeps on going on. And it's a good scene. It's a fucking phenomenal movie. Got robbed from Mr. Oscar, but, you know, what can you do? Yeah, that's what's going on in my world. I got all kinds of assignments due next week, but what can you do about that? That's school for you. One thing I'm not really enjoying is the fact that I missed the Laurentian Fall Reading Week. Oh, that was such a honey hole. That reading week was fantastic. I tell you, man. Fanshawe doesn't have one. It's like, nope, got to keep on work, go. That's our mentality. And they just, every week, just keep on getting more and more assignments. And, of course, I got to work, which is still great. But that's about it for my things I've done this week. So, on that note, we're going to move on. And coming up next, last week news on Monday. I will be back shortly. Peace. Welcome back. That is, of course, Tom Petty of Learning to Fly, and I recorded that while I was at what was it called? Jack Astor's last night when I was hanging out with my buddy Sam Gibson, and we met up. We hung out and watched the Leaf game. They won last night, and he was all fired up. I'm not a Leafs fan. But no, it was fun to catch up, and we had some pan bread, some delicious food. But yeah, it was good times, man. But like, this new segment is last week's news on Monday. And yes, before we get into that, I'm going to crack open another beer because that's how I do. This is what is this? It's the Whistler Brewing. Hold on a sec. Let me just figure it out, okay? Frig. I'm just trying my best here. This is the Whistler's Brewing Company Bear Paw Honey Lager. 5% alcohol, 330 millimeters, beer. And yeah, same old spot. Whistler Brewing Company. Check them out. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So, what happened last week? What is happening in the world? Let me check. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Well, of course, I brought up already Hurricane Michael. Another hurricane, Category 4 storm, ripped through the Florida Panhandle last week. Crazy. Absolutely insane. The scientists and officials said that it was the biggest storm that has ever hit the Florida Panhandle. If you ever saw photos of Mexico Beach in that area, there was one where it was like a before and after. It's like before the storm hit, and then after there's like how it's like a satellite image. There's houses, and then there's no houses and just debris. So if you don't know, not Environment Canada, the Weather Network sent down a bunch of storm chasers because storm chasing is still a thing. Now, if you don't follow Mark Robinson on any social media, I suggest that you do, because he's a meteorologist and he's a storm chaser, and he's very good at what he does. He covered the Hurricane Florence, and he covered the tornadoes that happened in Ottawa, and he's all over the map. If there's a crazy storm or weather event going to happen, he's there. I'm not too sure if he goes to forest fires, but I know that he chases storms, especially tornadoes, hurricanes, and lightning. Lots of lightning. He loves his lightning. And so he posted a video on his Twitter, because I follow him on Twitter, and it was him in the middle of the storm when it got landfall, and he's hiding behind a concrete pillar wearing a helmet and safety equipment because the winds are so high, and he's filming a video. This guy is nuts. Absolutely nuts, I tell you. But my question is it worth it now, especially with all of climate change happening and lots of issues going on around the world regarding the environment and increasing temperatures? And there's, I think somewhere around the world, something was released saying that if the temperature increases 1 or 2 more degrees, Miami's gone. It's gone, like, because heating of the earth, more water in the ocean, increasing temperatures. And so I guess the main issue for this hurricane was storm surge. The storm surge was out of control, lots of water. They were talking about like meters upon meters. I believe it was like 4 or 5 meters in total in storm surge. But this guy, Mark Robertson, is on the front lines when everyone's getting evacuated. He is going into the storm. And knowing that storms are becoming more intense year after year, and he continues to do this. What an animal, an absolute animal. Like, and then now he's posting video. He's with some colleagues and stuff, and believe it or not, they ran a story and they found an engagement ring that they gave to the local sheriff's department. They found an engagement ring and they gave it to the local sheriff's department, and they posted this on Twitter. And they found one. It was like the rock was huge. It looked like a really expensive ring, and they found it in the debris. And I don't know if it was, claimed or not, but it's just stories like that. But like seeing some of the photos of this devastation is insane. And so, like in class this week, we were talking about this. It was actually in my economics class. My economics professor is very good at what he does, and he can bring up the economy, and he can bring up certain current events that have happened or certain things that have happened and relate it to the economy. So I guess he told us that he's been reading a lot about the hurricane, like a lot of people have, and he brought up the fact that because storms have increased in size and like they're becoming very extreme, this is causing the world economy, like it's suffering. It's basically like not destroying it, but like it's causing it to put more money into insurance, trying to rebuild, because all of a sudden an entire community is gone, which is extremely devastating. And because of that, it takes like $1 or $2 trillion of the world's economy to fix world events such as forest fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, and this has been happening relatively quickly. Like, there was the tornadoes in Ottawa that happened a couple weeks ago. There was the Hurricane Florence that happened in the Carolinas. Now this Hurricane Michael hits the Florida Panhandle. These are all affecting the economy because houses are gone, and hopefully everyone has insurance. And if you don't, I suggest you get it. But like, this is a lot of money that the insurance companies have to provide. This is a major issue. Major issue. Do they have enough money to share the wealth? I'm pretty sure in Katrina this was a big problem, because I don't think a lot of those people didn't see a dime from the insurance company, which sucks. And this is affecting the economy. Just say there's a factory there, gone, completely gone, jobs gone, and they produce a certain product that goes all over the world that doesn't get used, and either they have to move or figure something out. But these global events, and he was explaining this, he's like, these global events, these weather events affect the economy just as much as supply and demand and other economic, and like, I don't know, man, like, for me, economics needs to start getting taught at a very young age, because I'm 27 years old and turning 28. I still don't know much about economics. I've taken economics in geography at Laurentian, and I'm finding it more and more fascinating after I go to one of his classes. That being said, like, other professors that I've had in the past they've done a great job about economics. I just find that not a lot of people know about the economy and how it really works, and how it is everything affects it. And like, there could be a storm or tornado that rips through a certain area, destroys, like, puts in like millions of dollars in damage, and then that can put an effect in the economy. Jobs are lost. The insurance companies have to produce more money for homeowners and everything. It's a crazy cycle. And so when he was bringing that up and explaining it, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And so what's going to happen with this climate change? Like, I don't care if you don't believe in it or not. I think after certain events that have happened over the years, forest fires, tornadoes, crazy events that are happening worldwide, tsunamis, I think it's safe to say that this is becoming a major issue. Major issue. And it has been for years, but I hope world leaders, especially some of our neighbors that say, oh, global warming doesn't exist and that hurricane was just an act of God. I hope that they're thinking, there might be another factor around this. There might be something else going on. Maybe it's all the coal that we burned over the years it's in the atmosphere. I don't know, but we need to figure something out about this. I'm not the most environmental person. I know this. I don't think anyone is. Like, I like, for example, my biggest thing is I don't use reusable coffee cups, and I should. It's that simple. You can go to Tim Hortons or Starbucks and hand them your reusable mug. And they sell them there. I don't. And I just throw all the plastic out. A turtle eats it, dies. Same sad story that happens all the time. But this is a very, very important issue, and it's happening whether you like it or not. And when people say, oh, Miami's not going to disappear, it's so beautiful, that's never going to happen. When it does, people are going to be like, oh, fuck, maybe we should have thought about this sooner, before it was too late. But this is an issue that needs to be addressed now. And to be honest, I don't know if it can ever get fixed. I think we're fucked. I honestly think that. So I'm going to take a sip of beer and stop talking about how fucked our world is, and just enjoy the rest of my life. Cheers. Not bad. I like the grapefruit one better, actually, but that one was not bad. It's tasty. Just, what else is going on? Well, Doug Ford and the PC government have just updated the Ontario Public Safety Radio Network. And this is for a lot of my friends that are involved in public safety or first responders, this is a big deal for them. I have a lot of friends that are police officers, and they protect our streets. Excuse me. And they make sure that we're safe, and they do a tremendous job. And I feel for them sometimes. And so I was talking to one of my buddies last night who was a cop, and he was bringing up the fact that some of the radios haven't been updated since like the 80s or his dad's rookie season, because his dad's a cop as well. And his dad's been a cop for years. And he told me that like they haven't updated them in like I think it was like 20 years or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but he was bringing up it's been a very long time since they updated their public safety radio network. And some of their radios are so outdated that, especially in northern communities where there might not be Wi-Fi or cell signal, this is a pretty frustrating issue, especially when you have a call and you have to be your first responder and you're expected to be there like very, very soon and within minutes. And if you don't get proper radio communication, you might get misinformed. You might not know exactly what's going on in the situation at hand. So this is a good idea. I think so. I agree with them updating them, because I also, from my own experience, working for the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry as a fire ranger, sometimes our radios weren't the greatest. I mean, they worked, but depending on the location or where you were, you wouldn't get proper reception, or you wouldn't be able to hear what's going on. And they were a little old, and they were heavy as fuck. And it's just like, especially when you're trying to like travel light and you're in the middle of boreal forest and you're trying to put out a bunch of fires and stuff. It was difficult. But I'm more concerned about the police officers, especially, and the paramedics and the structural firefighters, because they're all first responders and they got to deal with this. And you have to make sure that they have proper communications. Like, they have to know the information that's going on before they go on scene. Like, these are some of my really good friends are in the police force. I want them to be safe before they go into dangerous situations. So this is a good thing. I agree with it. I'm just concerned that they're going to cheap out and it's not going to be like high quality radio equipment. So I hope they don't do that, but you never know, because you don't want to increase tax paying, and there's all kinds of shit that you got to deal with when it comes to government. But moving on with that, I read something and I retweeted it on Twitter about forest fires, and it's about this new infrastructure project in Sault Ste. Marie, this state-of-the-art facility where pilots are getting trained in this water bomber. Sorry, I'm screwing this up. It's this state-of-the-art thing that like trains pilots how to do proper water bombing techniques and use the CL 415 bomber. So they obviously train their pilots in how to do the proper procedures and whatnot. But this new facility makes sure that pilots are getting trained and forest fires are getting put out at the same time. So you don't have to limit the amount of pilots that are in training or out of training. And this is a good thing. And now because a water bomber can drop a CL 415 can drop 6,000 liters of water, and is a very essential tool when it comes to forest fires. The Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry protects 90 million hectares of land, and I believe there was a ton of fires last year, obviously. And so they want to limit the amount of people that they could take out of the field. So they train them in this facility so they make sure that the CL-15s are actually dropping water on fire and they're always prepared. And I thought this was a good idea, and I saw that, and it was run by it was an infrastructure investment by Infrastructure Ontario, affiliation with MNRF and the Aviation Forest Fire Management and all kinds of stuff. So good on them for keeping their pilots trained and safe, and keep up the hard work. And sometimes I missed that job because it was a damn good job. Moving on. Oh, yes. Did anyone see Kayne West visit the White House this week? That was pretty entertaining. I watched a couple videos online, and that was, oh my God. Some people's boy is just going right off the rails. And yeah, he loves Trump. He was calling him a father figure, I believe, and I actually didn't realize how much he enjoyed like Donald Trump. Like, I know he's brought him up multiple times in the past couple of years, but he was even wearing a "Make America Great" hat again. There was so much media in the Oval Office during this meeting, but like, I just found that Trump looked very uncomfortable when Kanye was going on a huge spiel. He's like, "This guy's still talking. Okay, why did we invite this guy again? Oh, because he supports me. Okay, lots of people support me." It was just a weird vibe I had after watching the videos, and this guy's going right off the rails, and a lot of rappers are getting pissed. I read a tweet somewhere saying that like they're getting really, really pissed at Kanye West for all these remarks, and of course the thing that happened with TMZ, and I forget exactly what he said, but he brought up that something about to do with slavery, and that was a huge debacle. And I believe it was before or around the time he made a new album. I could be wrong. I'm not a Kanye West expert, but it was just a weird thing to see, man. Like, he's just at the White House ranting like he loves to do, full of himself yet again, and Trump's just sitting there, and Trump is the calm one. Trump is just like, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, okay. Is the guy still talking? And it was weird. Really weird. And the last thing I want to talk about before we move on is the big story that's been happening for years, and a lot of Canadians are looking forward to this. Marijuana. October 17th is the day. It is the big day that marijuana becomes legal in Canada. What are your thoughts on that? What is your reaction when it becomes legal on October 17th, which is Wednesday? It's very soon. What's going to happen? October 17th is coming up. I don't know what to say about it, man. I tell you, it is, I don't know. It's a very controversial topic. A lot of people are like, well, it's going to increase the Canadian economy. It's going to increase tax-paying dollars because they're going to put a tax on marijuana. Oh, you'll be able to hold as much weed as you possibly can. But on the other side of that, a lot of people are excited for it, and I'm interested to seeing campus on October 17th. And it's just going to be weird walking down the street and just seeing people, because they have a rule that you're allowed to smoke marijuana in the same areas that you're allowed to smoke cigarettes. So you can just be walking down the street, and all you'll be able to smell is weed. Like, this is a huge thing, and it's going to be such a shock for a lot of people, and it's going to get hard to get used to. I just feel the government doesn't know, is not really that prepared for it. I know they pushed back the date and stuff, and a lot of people are like, well, no, they're really prepared. We need this to happen. It's going to increase our economy. Look what happened to Colorado. They're making billions of dollars. Okay, sure, you can say that. But what about for the police officers? What about the first responders? How do they feel about this? I don't think they are too happy about it. They are going to have to put their careers, some of them might have to put their careers on the line when they go through ride programs. They have to make that call to see, is this guy stoned out of his mind or is he sober? Now they got to deal with drunk driving, which is, to me, I can't believe that it's still going on. Like, Mad Canada has been around for years, and that's still a huge issue. And now they got to deal with weed being legal and just becoming a huge phenomenon. Because people are just going to spark up when they drive or driving around and having a good time. It's like, oh, it's legal. And then there's now some new rules going on about city council members aren't allowed to smoke pot. Like if you work for a city or you're a government employee, they're going to put in I don't know, this is just for London. I was on the radio this morning. They were talking about that, how they're going to do pee tests and stuff like urine samples and whatnot to make sure that you're not high during work, and you can't go to work high. You can do it on your own time, which I think is standard anywhere you go. I am really concerned about like my friends that are police officers, because this is if they're running a ride program or something like that, they have to make a judgment call, man. And I think they were bringing up how they're going to do like a mouth swab, but isn't the way you test THC is by a blood sample, so you'd have to bring them in? And what about the courts? If there's more people driving high and they have to hand out more DUIs and they have to go to court, will this just like make the court system just overdrawn? There's still a lot of issues that are going to happen when they're going to be that people are going to focus on. And not to mention there's an upcoming federal election, and who knows, maybe the Liberals might stay in power, or Conservatives, NDP might take over, and they might just say, you know what, we're done with this. Just say Andrew Scheer gets a majority government. What happens next? What if he says, I don't like this, and they vote, and then they make weed illegal again? I don't know if that, I'm not a political expert or anything. I don't know if that can be done, but that these are things that you have to think about. I know a lot of like, oh man, it's going to be great, you know, it's going to be so high all the time, bro. But is productivity at work going to go down because a lot of people are just constantly stoned? And are people going to get pissed because there is tax on it? There is a lot of questions that haven't been answered yet. And there's many Canadians still go across the border to shop and go to the States. They got family in the States, family vacations down there. Is it going to be easier? How difficult is it going to be for Canadians to cross the border now? Like, oh, man, these are things that I'm really concerned about. And I know like a lot of people are like, no, it's going to increase the economy. Like we're going to be so rich soon. It's like, okay, I don't know. My biggest thing, you got to figure out how to test it for police. And I know they're working around the clock with that shit, but and if you're in law enforcement, or if you're in that type of industry and you already have something and I'm just an idiot, let me know. I'm just concerned for first responders and how they're going to deal with all this, especially police officers, because you're putting a lot more pressure on them. They already have to make a lot of judgment calls, and now they have even more stuff to deal with. And wow, holy shit, this is a long podcast. Okay. Anyways, coming up next, we have more news. It is the beer news. That's right. We have the beer news. I'll be back in a second. Peace. That's good. The beer news, folks. That's right. We are back with more news, but focused on beer. What happened with beer this week? Oh, yeah. Well, let's go back to the PC government, and they just canceled the scheduled beer tax hike that was put into place by the Liberals. Apparently, this is going to leave more money in the consumer's pocket. So this tax increase was going to be 3 cents per liter, and it was going to be established on November 1st. This has happened for the past 3 years, but not this year. They canceled that as Premier Doug Ford goes across the nation. I believe he was just in Bracebridge, and he goes across the province, and he was going across Canada for a while too. And yeah, so consumers are going to save a couple cents in beer tax, which is good, because I mean, I just bought, I think this is it's just a 12 pack, and it was pretty damn expensive, but came all the way from from Whistler, bro. Like the skiing and snowboarding is just great. Yeah. And so, is this a good thing? What are your thoughts on it? What do you think? Is the beer new? Is no less tax on beer helpful for you to save money? I think so. I like to save money. I think everybody does. But I don't know. Yeah, thoughts on that. That's all I got for the beer news this week. And now it's time for questions. That is right, questions. I got a couple questions that I got from Instagram, my story that I had before I started doing this podcast. One from a guy I used to play lacrosse with. Now his question, I used to go to Laurentian with him. Now his question was, are you still a filthy tendy? This is from Brad Giroux, one of my former teammates. He was an attack. He was a great lacrosse player. And so like I used to play lacrosse and I used to be a goalie. And he's like, are you still a filthy goalie? Still a filthy tendy? Unfortunately, no. I don't play lacrosse anymore. I haven't played since I graduated from Laurentian. Unfortunately, I should try to find something out there to play something, like whether it's rugby, flag football, or lacrosse, just like pickup or anything. I need to start getting more involved, like maybe doing intramurals at Fanshawe or anything. But unfortunately not. I am not a filthy tendy anymore. I don't have a bunch of bruises on my legs because I refused to use my stick. And I thought it was like, oh, well, because like I never really played lacrosse until I got to Laurentian, and I would just use my body instead of using my stick like most smart goalies do. And so I'd always come back from practice or games if I played that game, which is not, I'm not like, say, like I wasn't I don't know, I didn't have that much experience, and there was other goalies out there that were better than me. I don't know. Anyways. And I just would come back with like welts all over my body, and it fucking sucked. And so no, unfortunately, I'm not a filthy tendy anymore, but that brings up some good times and some good memories. I had a lot of fun with the lacrosse team at Laurentian. I just wish we won a couple more games. But no. And I got another question from, Jesus Christ. One of my buddies from Prince Edward Island, Tyler Brown, a couple years back, we went to Syracuse, New York for March Madness, and what a fucking shit show that was. I tell you, that was a goddamn shit show. It was a lot of fun, and I think that year Syracuse wasn't even in the tournament, I don't think, but it was at Syracuse, the Elite Eight and not the Final Four. Yeah, it was just the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16, I think. And so there was a lot of Michigan State fans there because Michigan State was still in the tournament. And they're famous like, go green, go white. Oh, they don't cough after, and they just continue doing this back and forth. And that's huge for them. That's their chant. And Louisville was there from, I went through Louisville. Where the fuck is Louisville? It's not, Jesus Christ. I got to look this up. I'm having a huge brain fart. Emma and I drove through Louisville this year. Louisville, Kentucky. Sorry, yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. God, for a geography major, he sure doesn't know where Louisville is. So yeah, it was a great time. Like, unfortunately, like going to the games, they didn't serve alcohol because it was run by the NCAA. But the Carrier Dome, where the Syracuse Orange play, is like one of 4 or 5 stadiums in the States that actually serves alcohol for college football. I'm pretty sure I've brought this up multiple times. So his question is, like, he picked me up from, I was living in Ottawa at the time, and him and another buddy that I know, not McLovin, my buddy Brian from PEI, they drove to, I think Tyler was living at Montreal at the time too. So Brian drove from PEI and stopped in at Montreal, and they drove down to, what's that place called? Cornwall. And I drove from Ottawa to Cornwall, and they picked me up, and I just parked my car at a train station that had free parking. And it was in my like old 2004 Sentra, so I didn't really, whatever. What happens, happens. Like it could barely start, man. It was one of those cars that as soon as like -2, it just like and it just wouldn't start, and you're just like, oh, this is embarrassing. People are looking at your parking lots like, what the hell? Just buy a new car, man. Figure it out. Excuse me. So they picked me up and we drove down to Syracuse and we met some other buddies that I used to go to school with, and yeah, it was a great time. And we were staying at a hotel. I remember we went to the BK Lounge and just indulged in terrible food, and we were just pounding back Natty Ice all weekend. We would just get like 50 cans of Natty Ice and just crush them. It's like, oh, well, like we can drink like 3 times the amount of American beer because, you know, like it's just so much lighter down here. It's like, oh, it's only 1% difference. But anyways, so his question is, did you ever ruin a hotel pillow with blood? Fuck. God damn it. So the story behind this is when I was in Syracuse a couple years back for March Madness, we were at a bar and a fight broke out. And a fight broke out and we weren't involved in the fight at all. We were just hanging out, having a good time at the bar, like doing shots. And I think it was a country bar too, because they had a riding bull. And one of the guys we were with, we got him to go on the bull because it was his birthday. He only lasted like 2 or 3 seconds. And this fight breaks out and the bouncers are all involved. And then all of a sudden someone grabbed a bottle and threw it. And it missed everyone that was involved in the fight. And of course, there's the fucking giant Timmy Hurd just standing there with his back turned, not really knowing what's going on because it was a really crowded bar. And the bottle hits me in the back of the head. My glasses go flying. I lose my glasses and I go down like a sack of potatoes. And I get up and I'm pretty sure I got a concussion. One of many that I've gotten over the years. And so we get back to the hotel and I wake up the next morning and there's blood on my pillow. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And they're like, dude, you got bottled last night. I'm like, what? Someone actually came up and bottled me? They're like, no, like someone threw a beer bottle and it smashed in the back of your head and you got in a cab and went home. Thankfully, I was like not home, but went to the hotel. And like I had traveler's insurance too, but I didn't want to go to the hospital or anything because I was fucking pissed drunk. But oh, my mother's gonna really love this story. But anyways, I was bleeding from there. But then when I got back to Ottawa, I had a couple more days off because I extended my vacation a bit. I went to the hospital. I went to the emergency. Thankfully, I didn't have any concussion symptoms. I just had a big headache, and I didn't have to get stitches or anything. I just had a pretty bad gouge on my back of my head, but it could have been a lot worse. Fuck, it could have been a lot worse. So yes, I have woken up in a hotel and the pillow full of blood, and that was, oh God, that was a fucked up day. This was one of those days where you just fucking start drinking at like 10 o'clock in the morning and just don't stop. Just insane, man. Fucking insane. But on that note, I'm going to take one more sip of beer. I'm going to check if I have any more questions. I don't think I do. No, not. Just give me a second here. Nope, no more questions. Check the old email, see if McLovin's like, oh, I want to be on the podcast again. No, nothing on Twitter, no tweets. So that's about it. One more sip of beer before I exit out of this bad boy. You can follow this podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Tall Talk Podcast. You can subscribe to this podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and now Spotify. And you can check it. You can check out not my network, but a guy I go to school with, Sam Cook. He put me on his podcast network, and it's on Secor.iu or something like. I'm not exactly sure. This is a train wreck. But anyways, it's on Spotify now. So if you're a Spotify user, you can check it out as well. And just type in Tall Talk Podcast on Spotify. You'll be able to see it. And I'd like to thank my friend Sam Cook for doing that for me. He did a fantastic job. And thank you so much. Growing Tall Talk podcast one day at a time. Let's continue. And on that note, you can also follow my personal Instagram account, HerdTimothy90, if you so desire. And if you have any questions, like I said, just email me, tweet at me. My email is talltalkpodcast@gmail.com. Do what you want. It's all up to you. I don't care, and I am really hungry. It smells delicious. I don't know what Emma's making, but I'm pretty sure it's fajitas, and I can't wait. So on that note, folks, it's been a great time chatting to you this week. And don't get too high this week. I mean, you do have fucking work to do. Come on, figure it out. And until next time, it's been a Timbo Slice. Peace!